You think I give a fuck? I'm just trying to grab the pedestal to put my people up. I'm just trying to grab the pedestal to keep us out the mud.
Hello. Welcome to episode 2 of the ScarCrew Podcast. Today I'm with the homie Joe, aka Mr. Spooky. So yeah, we're gonna talk about what it was like living in a assisted living group home, and we're gonna let you take it away. So.
Alright, so basically living in a group home, like, they make it seem like it's the greatest thing in the world, but in actuality, break it down, group homes can help nobody except for a selective few, but I feel like with my experience, basically, it was a dominant Christian group home, so they wouldn't let me do my religious practice in the house. They wouldn't let me do my candle magic at all in the house. I had to keep on going to other places just to get my religious thing taken care of. They didn't take me seriously. I got assaulted by the staff member for not taking temperature. It was 90-something degree weather out there, and I came up to my room to get water. They pushed the door open onto me, and then they took their arm, pushed me into my altar, then wiped all my stuff off my altar, pushed me into the bed. I tried getting up. Mind you, it's 90-degree weather. I just got vaccinated at the time, and it just really wasn't not the best experience. I was in the group home for 11 years, and at first it was okay, but as time went on, it did more damage. I started basically losing hope in myself. My confidence was shot. I was on Prozac for about 11 years, or almost 11 years, or something. I can't remember the exact timeline. But the Prozac itself numbed me out, making me feel like I was dead, but I was alive, but it was a weird experience, and then it just affected me so much where, basically I was giving up hope, I was giving up time, I was depressed. Prozac didn't do anything, it just numbed the pain and stuff. So if people who have any type of mental condition, I would say don't let anybody tell you that you have it. Do your own research and educate yourself, because too many cases throughout history. We have Willowbrook, we have Waverly Hills Sanatorium out there.
We had Letchworth Village.
Where they basically took their loved ones and dumped them in the middle of nowhere because they thought that, quote unquote, because they have a condition, they weren't ready for society.
And also the place where I went to with my husband in Long Island, because when I did a paranormal investigation there, like the responses I've had was like, don't rush off, my throat hurts. Like, I've had a whole bunch of responses that were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, when I went to Letchworth Village, like, even just being on that property, even though it's, like, weird people could walk now, but just being on the property and being, like, near those, like, buildings and shit, like, you could feel, like, that, like, energy, like, that sadness. Like, once I was on the property, not, like, out of my friend's car and all that, like, once I got onto the property before I even started recording that video, I literally cried. Like, you could feel, like, the pain and, like,
a sense of dread over the place.
Yeah, like, the dread, and, like, it makes you, like, sad.
Yeah.
And
then the residual, the residual to that. But in modern day mental health, they tried to say, oh, we're going to help you by pumping you. Meanwhile, pumping drugs into somebody doesn't necessarily always mean it's going to be successful. it could actually do more damage to a person than they realize.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely agree though.
So, I mean, if you have any mental conditions and stuff, the best way to cope with it would be either a happy modem, like, for me, it's graphic design.
For me, it's basically just doing YouTube and making gaming videos and exploring and going to abandoned places, vlogging the history, and just being outside and spending time with my husband. Honestly,
Right.
and my friends that know me well.
Right. And then a second greatest thing that I can suggest is music. I mean, just passed on the 22nd, and yet, despite of how he passed, I just went to a concert at Gramercy Theater last night, and you could just tell the atmosphere of the place was really cool. I mean, music helped me a lot because it's a universal language in a sense, especially in the metal scene, metal family.
Yeah, definitely.
It unites people.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, look at Ozzy, like the greatest warrior of life with all the stuff he went through, and
exactly. Exactly.
And obviously, music is.
And it's also not just abuse that happens in like a assisted living group home. Like there's a lot of things. Like with me, I had to deal with like homophobia because like the majority of people that like ran the one that I was in was like they were like Jamaican and like the whole history with like Jamaicans hating like gay people and shit like. Like I know some people are gonna say, "Oh, why am I saying shit like that?" Like it's literally true.
Right.
No, and it's like and like I've met some good people, like individual wise, not like staff wise, but like more like individuals that at the program that I do talk to.
Right.
Like I remember like when I went to the program, like every time like I would have to wake up like early in the morning, take some medication that I don't even know what the fuck it was or what for I know it could have been like fucking destroying me on the inside or whatever. Like they don't really tell you what you're taking.
Right.
And it's like, what was I taking? Why did I need this or that? Like,
Right. As the case with me when I was on Prozac, they didn't tell me the side effects of it.
Like I didn't suffer any side effects, but like I don't know what I was putting because with me I normally would never take medication. Like if I have a headache or something, I'm taking an Advil and a liquid gel and I'm or a Tylenol and I'm good.
Right.
Like I'll be good. Like I'll be good.
And that just proves the point that these doctors are just in it for the money.
Like they claim they know your body, but like how well do they know my body? Like I feel like I know my own body better than anyone else because there are times where I've gotten like really sick, and then it's like like I like way before I moved in with my husband. Like my husband and I, we got sick for maybe a couple of weeks, like maybe 4 or 5 weeks at one time when we had the flu.
Right.
Like I was the first one that got it because me, but that's besides the point. My husband was taking care of me, and then he got it because I was still sick. I was recovering. He was recovering. That's like the best part being in a relationship. Like if you're sick and then your partner gets sick, like you guys get sick together, you just be with each other in bed and talk and do other shit. But that's besides the point. But other than that, yeah. So like I had to deal with homophobia in my group home. Like when I moved in to the group home that I was in, like I thought it was going to be like a safe place, a chance to like kind of breathe and heal from because consider the fact I moved from like house to house, especially since my grandma passed back in 2018.
Right.
And
that was hard. I remember
Yeah, that day, like I was depressed. Like my grandma was like someone that I really like kind of went to for like advice.
Right.
And I actually compare my friend Gary to my grandma because like when my friend Gary, when he yells at me, like it kind of reminds me of my grandma. Like not in a way where I'm gonna cry and because he's yelling at me. It's because like it reminds me of my grandma when she yelled at me. So it's like I'm bringing that memory back. And like with my friend Gary, like I go to him for like advice and everything and shit. And he's a good friend of mine. I've known the guy for like 9 years at this point.
Right.
Like he is someone that I consider family, a teacher, and a mentor. It was
Yeah,
because
I was just gonna add, would you see him as a mentor, or would you see your grandmother or both of them as mentors?
both. My grandma was a mentor. And I kind of consider the Gary a mentor because of the fact that he is like my grandma. Like he has the same personality like my grandma had. So like yes, like the only difference was like I never really got the chance to tell my grandma that hey grandma I'm gay, you know, and that's
Right.
the one thing I kind of regret. And you know it was because of Gary that I kind of finally came out to my parents. Like my dad already knew.
Right. Right.
Like my mom kind of already had her suspicions, but like I kind of slowly like kept giving her the signs, you know, and then like I finally once I met like my husband and all that, I, you know, that's when I fully came out to my mom. I'm like, yeah, mom, I'm gay. So like, you know, at first she had to get used to it. It was kind of like a shock, but like not really.
Right.
Like my dad just accepted it right away. He was like, "You're my son, and I love you regardless." So
Right.
my mom, it took time a little, but like she wasn't like hateful. And honestly, she likes Ron. She likes Ron more than she ever liked like the and shit. You know?
Well, I mean, Ron's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah, no,
you know,
Ron. Ron's a good.
yeah, like
Like,
he's really chill.
yeah, no, and he's really caring, and that's why I love him.
Right.
Yeah, but like you know, like being in a group home though, like you had like rules, you had curfews, constant questions like where you're going or who you with and this and that. Like that literally was on top of your ass.
By law, they had to know exactly where you are. Like, I went across the street one night and didn't come back until the next day. And I found out the next day they called a full-out search party on my ass. Like, literally.
I literally was with my husband like for 4 days. They literally called the police on me for mine, like when I lived in a group home. I'm like, you're calling the police on a 29-year-old that literally could take care of himself easily.
Right, right. Yeah, by law, they had to, like, notify parents and the police. It's just a fact.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nah, like every move you ever made was like watched. Like you had no privacy, no trust. Like, and I have trust issues. Like you know, so that like, but like the worst part was the homophobia from the very start. They treated like my sexuality like it was a joke. They made fun of how I talked, how I like showed my pride.
Right, right.
They
Yeah.
they threw slurs at they threw slurs at me sometimes in my face. They've called me names. They've
I deal with that too. Like, when I was in a group home, they're like, oh, you're a witch. I'm like, well, I actually do practice. And, you know, the goth side didn't help. The metal side didn't help. You know, like, it was one of those things where I would, like, be going to, like,
yeah, they judge you because of like what you like wear or like what's your type of like the type of music you listen to. Like it's crazy.
Right.
And like when I told my group home that I was getting married to a guy and I was finally moving out and had someone that loved me for me, like someone who actually saw the scars that I carried physically and emotionally.
Right.
They literally laughed and they were like, "You're moving with a man that's not going to work." They kept just like, "I'm just gonna fuck up," and like you know, like my happiness was like a punchline to them, and like they didn't,
Right.
and that I didn't deserve to have anyone. But I found someone. I moved out. I'm married, and I'm happy. And my husband loves me for everything I am, not just despite of it. Like he sees all the shit that I've been through, and where most people will run, he's by my side. And it's literally been a year since I got married, and a year here, and I'm here. I have a full-time job, like.
Right, right. And then I'm married to, my wife, and, that was one of the major accomplishments.
Oh yeah, no,
And,
definitely. It's the same with me.
At this point, like you said, when people make fun of you, saying, "Oh, you'll never get married, you'll never get out of here," no, because it's like literally, I did it, you did it.
Exactly.
You got married, so. For all the hitters out there, don't let the hitters be hitters. Don't let the trolls be trolls.
Yeah, no, definitely.
That's only gonna lead into more destruction.
And that's the thing, like when you find a partner that you find a partner that reminds you that you're not broken, that you're not too much, and that like you deserve love. Like from me when I met Ron, like he always reminds me every day that I'm not broken and that I'm not too much, and that like I deserve love as much as he does, because Ron and I we're just similar to each other. We've both had a bad relationship in the past,
Right.
and I'm not perfect. He's not perfect, but I love him. It's our flaws that make us who we are. And the fact that the group home did try to tear me down. They said that they were wrong. I didn't fuck up. I found love. I found freedom, and I found I found myself. And to anyone hearing this who's exactly, and to anyone hearing this who's been made or feel like they are either too queer, too different, too wrong, or too weird or whatever, you're loved. You're loved no matter what.
Right.
Let me tell you, like you're not the problem, guys. Their hate was never about like you. It was about their own fear. Like you can find love, you will heal, and you don't deserve a life that's. And you, I meant to say, you do deserve a life that's free, joyful, and full of people who celebrate you, not shame you. The group home tried to silence me, but I'm still here, and I'm louder than ever, and you're here, and
Right. All the people that say, "Oh, you'll never get married, you'll never make it." Well, look at us now.
I'm married, okay? Married for a year.
Right.
And and it's so funny because like people like, and it's so funny because people like they were like, oh, you're married to someone that's a lot older than you. Like, bro. Like I'm 31, my husband's 76. He's like, age gap relationships is a thing,
Yeah, it is. It really is.
I mean,
Yeah.
and even with all my friends, when they first met Ron, they were like, there's no way. When I said I met Ron when I think he was like 74 or 75. Hobby Wobby. When I met you, you were what, 74 or 75? Okay, so you were 74, about to turn 70. So when I met Ron, he was 74, about to be 75. Now he's 76.
Yeah.
So I met him when I was like 28 or 29, I think.
Right.
28, turning 29. And then I got married to him when I was 30. So, yeah. Basically a year at this point, basically.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't look back. Like, I look back to that day when I moved in, and I was like, yeah, I don't regret this. I don't.
Right. And it's a major accomplishment, that you did. I'm accomplished. I got married, and recently I'm off Prozac. And I have to say, if you're prescribed Prozac, research the drug because it numbed me out to a point where I couldn't cry. The day I couldn't really handle it and I was off Prozac and stuff and started feeling again, I felt alive again.
Yeah,
I
no.
mean, when Ozzy passed and they played Mama, I'm coming home in the grocery store, I started bawling tears.
Yeah,
literally,
I.
in the middle of like, I'm not the type of person that would show sobbing tears in public,
Yeah, nah.
but it's like when you start feeling alive again and you make, like marriage was an accomplishment for me and it still is.
Oh yeah, no, it's the same with me.
Getting off Prozac is my second greatest accomplishment. If I didn't meet my wife, I don't think I would have ever been able to make that accomplishment.
Yeah,
So
no,
that
like
just
it's
shows,
so crazy because
that just
like
shows that, even though doctors try to say things and people try to tear you down, there's in Wicca there's a phrase, a witch knows thyself. Well, getting off Prozac is definitely a know thyself type of thing,
yeah, like
or getting married is to know thyself because, in the end of the day, you wake up in the next day and you feel alive again, and each day you make accomplishments, whether it be great or small.
no, like
day-
when I first hit like 1,000 subs, that was a milestone for me. When I hit 2,000 subs, that was an accomplishment. When I hit 3K, that was an accomplishment.
Right.
When I hit 4,000 or more, that's gonna be an accomplishment. When I finally get affiliated on Twitch and like once I start making more money on like Twitch and Kick, like getting partnered wise, like that'll be like the biggest accomplishment ever.
Right, and then you have the shirts too. So who knows? Maybe when you meet that requirement, you might have a boost of success with your shirts. I mean, you already had the line out, so
Well, I already have like my own merch store
Exactly.
basically, so it's
like-
it's like two merch stores actually. So like it's like I'm more in there. And it's so funny because it's like when I feel like when you succeed, like people are just gonna hate
right.
because they hate seeing others succeed because like a lot of people are not out there trying their best, or they're like oh I could do this but like I don't know, and then when someone else like they like people give up too easily,
Right.
and it's like you don't need to you don't give up. Like you're not gonna go like viral overnight or like a day. Some people do, some people don't. But like
Right.
don't go viral for the wrong reasons. Go viral for the right reasons. Like don't do stupid shit just to get viral, and because you're gonna have a bad reputation for it.
Right.
Like you want to build a good reputation. Like with me, like
Right.
it took me like I've been on YouTube for 16 years. It took 16 years, 2 test channels that are now abandoned, that kind of were building bricks to your boy Scar where it is today.
Exactly.
So, like, failure is part of succeeding. You have to fail in order to succeed eventually.
Exactly.
That's how I see it. And it's like, don't be scared of the unknown.
Right.
Go for it. And that's coming from an Urbex Explorer. So, like, don't fear what's in the unknown. Embrace the unknown, type shit,
Right.
Life is like, adventure is like Disneyland. That's another Urbex goal that, like, I do what I do because I enjoy it, and it gives other opportunities for people that don't really go exploring abandoned places or just like don't want to or are afraid to, like they could see from my view, from like my eyes, and be like, yo, this place is nice, this and that, you know. Like over the 10 years of me doing urbexing, like I've been to a lot of places that like
We both went to a lot of places. You know, we both
yeah,
went
exactly.
to a handful of places, and I've met a lot of people. You know, there's urban exploration is like maybe number 1 or 2 in a list of YouTubers out there that's dealing with either exploring, like it's your channel, it's exploring with Josh, you know.
Oh my gosh,
there's
TV, Mosaji,
Yeah,
James the
like there's so
Fam,
many,
who I did meet
but
in person back in 2018 at a fan meetup, so
right,
which was cool.
and then on top of that, you know, thanks to Adam and Warren, I don't think paranormal would be a household name.
Yeah, exactly. Like there wouldn't be a lot of people, and also like I'm like it's not only me or the ones that you mentioned about like urbexing. There's a really good friend of mine and his girlfriend, Zeke. Urbex Vibes, definitely someone that I've collabed with a few times.
Yeah.
And there's also another person, Saint John on Relics, like someone that I went to Letchworth with. Really amazing. Like those two, like me urbexing, like I've met a lot of amazing people that I consider family at this point now. You know, they've been in my life because not only because they have the same interests as me, but like, and it's that like I feel like when you're like exploring and all that, like when you like connect with people that you never really met, like you build a bond with them.
Right.
And yeah, no, that's just the crazy part.
And then on top of that, there's a sense of history there. Like, you know, people that are into this sort of thing generally get the vibe, and sometimes you can get lost in history, like, because exploring something, and then not only if it's haunted, but if you're walking in a museum, you know, let's say the Garibaldi Museum, and you see the death mask of Garibaldi for the first time, it's like, what? You know, like,
Yeah, no, like the history of like either an abandoned place or like anything in general. It's just like you could like visual yourself like what it was like when it was like an operation. You know, when I was like in Letchworth Village, like I just imagined what it was like walking through all those empty dark halls and just walking around as if like it felt like I was there in my past life, you know, like the vibe and just like the history. And like I said, that's kind of like what like you and I kind of felt when we were living in a assisted living group home. Like we know what it was like to either be abused or like physically and emotionally. So like that's kind of why like that this topic today. So it went from that to like more, but all this kind of puts in together because like if you really think about like urbexing, like for me, it's like every time I'm in an abandoned place, I feel like I can connect. Like with like all the like the spirits or like the history of the place because you know, like in reality, like in half of my whole entire life, I felt like I was abandoned. So like it kind of fits me. Like your boy Scar isn't just a username; it represents me with all the scars that I've carried physically and emotionally. The scars that some people could see and some that can't. You know.
Exactly.
And like a lot of people always thought my username, your boy Scar, was just because I like the Lion King, like Scar from the Lion King. That's not really true. don't get it twisted, I do, but like at the same time, your boy scar means more deeper value to me.
Yeah, it definitely goes deeper.
It goes way deeper. So like,
It's like,
it's
and
my
it's,
identity, basically, if you want to say.
right.
It's like where most people will hide their scars and all that. Like I don't. I wear my scars physically and emotionally, like proudly. Like it reminds me that I've survived through a lot of shit.
Exactly. Everybody has been through that.
A lot of people have like everyone in life. Like, and if you haven't been through a lot of shit, then you're bullshitting because a lot of people go through a lot of shit, and I definitely been through a lot. From the loss of my grandma to losing two of my cats, to moving from house to house, to dealing with homophobia, to being in an assisted living group home, even though it was only for a year compared to you, but still.
Right.
So,
But they get the drift. They understand, and the fact that I went for 11 years, for a group home, it makes me look at history, and I'm like, what? One of the greatest questions that I ask myself now is, what was it like being just dumped out like Willowbrook for society? What was it like being dropped off at any historical place?
Yeah, like exactly. Like you, like for those that don't understand like that, like what it was like to be in a group home or like being just dropped off as if you were like a piece of shit. Like I understood why my sister put me there because you wanted me to have a place to be safe, but also not want me being on the streets. But anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and his YouTube channel will be in the description below. And this has been your boy. This has been Mr. Spook. Love you guys. Peace.
Too afraid of what I become. Can't nobody do it like me. Not even me, I know.